Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me doing a quick Facebook Live in the French Riviera because I had an interesting session with a client last night and time and time again when people come to me who's suffering from years, and even actually most of my clients suffered from destructive behaviors, especially binge eating, compulsive eating, emotional eating, feeling out of control when it comes to eating generally, have been suffering for decades. That is my average client that comes to me. And just like most of my clients, my client last night, she had tried everything, from diets, keto, different modalities of therapy, including lots of famous methods, and still she could not get out of the reason why she kept binging on sugar. In actual fact, it was like the out of control feeling of having to have sweets all the time, especially when it came to boredom, stress, and every time she had a meal, she had to have a dessert or something sweet, to the point that if she went somewhere and she knew and she found out there was no dessert afterwards, she would have this kind of panic because there wouldn't be dessert there, and she said that she would have to carry something sweet on her all the time. And she said she doesn't know what it is, and she tried everything and she had a suspicion what it was. It's like her childhood, but even though she knew factually what had happened, it still didn't help her have any control back of her life. This was practically ruining her life. And this is what I keep saying time and time again in many of my videos, actually all of my videos, is that binge eating or compulsive eating, emotional eating, food addiction, sugar addictions, it is never about the food or about the actual junk food or sugar itself. Because and also this is the reason why many diets and many modalities don't work, because they focus more on the how to eat and when to eat and meal plans and mindful thinking and things like that. These are great up to a point, but it's not sustainable. Because the reason why it's not sustainable, because we're human beings. We're not supposed to be driven by rules, and these are all rules, like meal plans and things like that. So anyway, last night where we had one session and we dug deep to the reason behind all this out of control obsession with sugar, how it made her feel overwhelmed, frustrated, in desperation, actually crying, and she didn't know what to do. And just like all my clients, they come to me just at the point where they just think, it's just useless. Maybe this is the way things are. And I was exactly in that same position for over 22 years. I knew what she felt like. I've been there, feeling like there's two sides of you. There's one side of you that really, really wants to be healthy. You know that your behaviors are going to end up killing you one day. It's not sustainable. And oh my God, if you become a parent, that fear of having to pass those bad habits to your children too, my heart felt for her. But after we resolved, not even resolved, after I helped her align herself with that part. And if you look at my previous videos, I talk about this all the time. There is not a fat person inside of you. There is not a monster inside of you. There is no self-sabotaging. The only thing that you have inside of you is an inner wisdom, an inner voice that is desperate to communicate something to you. And when I was able to align her with that part, by the end of 2-hour session, when I asked her how she felt about that problem, and she said, I feel different. This time is different. I actually felt my stomach change. I've got a lot of space now. And we went through the testing phase. I asked her how she felt about not having dessert after dinner. And not that I'm telling her that she shouldn't have dessert after dinner. I'm just testing to see how her mind works at the thought of that. Because when she carries on with life, it's not that she'll never have dessert. The difference is now that she will have a choice. Giving her back the choice that she never had before. And she even said, I just feel indifferent to sugar now. I'm like, what? You're telling me after 2 hours you feel indifferent to sugar? And I said, how about if your boyfriend came home and bought you your favorite cookies? And she said, you know what? Just thinking about that just makes my stomach turn. That just seems so sweet. Can you imagine ever thinking like that? Have you ever looked at someone else and think, how can they eat half a cake? How can they not want to eat everything on that buffet? How can people just eat half a dessert and leave the rest? After 2 hours, my client had become the person that she'd always dreamt to be. The person that can have a choice. The person that said cookies now sounded too sweet. So, again, my videos are there to help you have a think about the struggles that you're having with eating, binge eating, the food addictions, and how long you've been on diets, on regimes like meal plans, calorie counting, macro counting. And I'm here just to set those cogs going in the mind. Because once you set those cogs going, it's the only thing that's ever gonna really make that drastic change in your life. Because no matter how many meal plans, calorie counting, macro counting, that's all you're ever gonna end up doing. Because that's what you're focusing on. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. But with rapid recovery, transformation, we don't focus on anything. We just detach you from the focus. So, if you haven't met me before, I am Mel, and I am a rapid recovery rebel because I help hundreds of people recover from years and decades of binge eating, food compulsions, self-sabotaging, destructive eating from only one session. Because we get to the origin of the problem and not the symptom, which is the binge eating and the food. So, and that is without any traditional meditating, journaling, meal plans and like that, because there's no need for it. No, not any need for it once you get to the root cause. So, until next time, keep strong from the French Riviera. Let's have a quick turn around. And look at the water here. Yes, we are really lucky that we live here. Try not to get anyone in. And then there's like the touristy flats around us. But there you go. That's a 360-degree turn of where we live. Okay? So, until next time, keep strong. Bye-bye.